Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to continue with Talmud, Eser, Sefirot. And in today's topic, it's class number 2. We're going to discuss the reason for the creation being the revelation of his names and appellations. The word appellation in English translates or is defined as a name or a title. So the reason for the creation was the revelation of his names and appellations. His refers to the creator. So let's begin. The Ari continues by saying, when it rose upon his simple desire to create the worlds and emanate the emanated things, to bring the perfection of his deeds, his names and appellations to light, which was the reason of the creation of the worlds. Rav Ashlag expands. He begins by saying that every emanated thing has within it, by necessity, a desire to receive the sustenance or the light from the Creator. So every emanated thing has within it, by necessity, the desire to receive the sustenance. Like the cup has within it, an empty cup, has within it the desire or capacity to receive the light or water from above. However, in the endless light, it is a simple light because he is one and his name's one. In Hebrew, it's called Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad. He is one and his name one. The light in the endless light is called He, and the desire to receive is called his name. And they are simple unity without any form of separation whatsoever. So in the endless light, Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad. He and his name exist in simple unity without any form of separation. Now, since he is one and his name one, we now understand that the light and the desire to receive are one. Because he means the creator, which is the ultimate giving force. And his name represents the desire to receive, which we said. But in the endless light, we now understand that the light and the desire to receive are one. It sounds very confusing. How is two opposites one? Right? Well, there's a general rule in spirituality that similarity brings closeness and difference brings distance. It's very important to remember this. Similarity brings closeness and difference brings distance. So someone could be, for example, sitting right next to me. They could be physically close, but spiritually distant. Because I could feel distant from them based on how similar we are. And then if someone's all the way on the other side of the world, let's say in Japan, and I'm in America, they could be physically distant, but spiritually close. Maybe I feel connected to them. Maybe they're my brother. Maybe they're my sister. Maybe it's my spouse. I feel very close to them because similarity brings closeness and difference brings distance in spirituality. This is the general rule. Now, the difference between the creator and the emanated things is that the created things became thicker, or the way it used this word is it becomes more materialized through this desire to receive that exists in the emanated things, but not in the source or the creator. So to reiterate, the desire to receive exists in the emanated thing, but not in the creator. And through this change of form, where the desire to receive was awakened, which we remember occurred due to the power of the contraction, the emanated things became separated from the creator. So the power of the contraction created a separation due to the change in form, due to the difference in form. Because difference brings distance. So it created a separation. So through this contraction, the emanated things became separated from the creator and acquired its own separate name, meaning ne'etzal, and not ma'atzil. Ne'etzal means emanated things in Hebrew, and ma'atzil means the creator. So they're similar, ma'atzil, ne'etzal, but ma'atzil is the creator, and whenever the contraction occurred, there was a difference in form. That difference in form earns its own name called ne'etzal. Because we said over here in our last class that every difference in form earns itself its own name and its own control over itself. The new form that is now different from its original form separates and distances itself from its initial form and comes out with its own name and control over itself. So that's exactly what happened here. It used to be ma'atzil, but with the contraction, now it gave birth to a difference of form that now earns its own name, ne'etzal. Just to refresh our memory from last class. Now, in the endless, the light and the desire to receive are one. We just said that above. We said, since he is one and his name is one, and his name one, we now understand that the light and the desire to receive are one. So in the endless light, the light and the desire to receive are one. They are not separated from each other at all. This upper light that is only a giving force has zero desire to receive. The upper light has, the giving force has zero desire to receive. The creator, the ma'atzil, zero desire to receive. So how is it possible that in the endless, the desire to receive and the light, he and his name, exist in simple unity? If we said that his name has desire to receive and he is light, which are in its own essence opposites, how is it that they exist in unity, in the endless? So the Rav Ashlag explains it through the following. He says that there are two types of endless. There's endless hu, which means him, and there's endless shemo, which is his name. There's hu and shemo. Remember that any change in form, any difference in form, earns itself its own name, which is why hu is different than shemo. Just like ne'etzal is different than ma'atzil, hu is different than shemo. Hu is him, shemo is his name. There's a difference in form. Ein sof hu, the endless that pertains to him or he, is the ultimate giving force. So he is the ultimate giving force. Shemo, his name, has within it the desire to receive. So again, I'm going to ask again, how is it that the desire to receive exists in simple unity with the light, which is a giving force, if we just said that the rule is that similarity brings closeness and difference brings distance? Because we said similarity brings closeness, but there's a change in form. There's a difference here. Difference brings distance. So how is it that they are in simple unity without any separation, without any distance, if there's a difference? Basically here there's a difference, but there's no distance. But we just said that the rule is if there's a difference, there's a distance. Now, this is how he answers the question of how they exist in simple unity without any separation. Although there is a difference in form between he and his name, between light and the desire to receive, since they have different names, it is nevertheless inactive there in the endless. And he says we don't understand it, but it is undoubtedly so. So here we learn that in the endless, the concept of separation, the concept of distance doesn't exist. Even though the general rule of spirituality is that difference brings distance, Rav Ashlag says that within the endless light, there is a desire to give and a desire to receive that exists together simultaneously, not separate at all, and that this concept is above the human understanding. So here's the rule, or here's the exception to the rule, rather. In the endless light, a change of form, a difference of form, does not create distance. Although the general rule is that difference brings distance, in the endless light, it doesn't work that way. Distance doesn't exist. Difference does, as we know Hu and Shmo are different, but distance doesn't exist. Separation doesn't exist. So, the light in the endless is called He, and the desire to receive is called his name, and they are in simple unity without any form of separation in the endless. So, thank you so much for watching the full video and learning with me. In the next class, we're going to learn more about the contraction of the light around the middle point. We'll get into the specifics next time. I hope to see you there. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your night.